Welcome to this video about external hard drives. Each week you will receive an external hard drive from headquarters and you will send one back to headquarters with captured images on it. In this video we will cover the steps of this process: attaching an external hard drive contents, transferring folders to external HD, and shipping an external hard drive. We will start with receiving and attaching an external hard drive. When you receive an external hard drive, it will come in a hard protective case called a Pelican case. The case will be in a cardboard shipping box. Do not dispose of the cardboard box because you will be using it to ship the external hard drive back to headquarters later. There are a few different types of external hard drives that might be shipped to you each week, but they should require the same cables. The cables you will be using are eSATA and a power cord. You should already have the necessary cables when an external hard drive is sent. If for some reason you need a replacement cord, contact your field supervisor or camera repair. The external hard drive will need to be plugged into the computer using the proper cables. Make sure to connect the eSATA cable, plug the external hard drive into a power source, place the external hard drive into the hard drive holder, and make sure to turn the external hard drive on. At this point, the external hard drive should be ready to use. Now let's learn what is on the external hard drive. The external hard drive will transfer important information to and from headquarters. The external hard drive you receive contains messages about previously finished folders. These messages state which folders are complete and which ones need to be reworked. When this data is processed, the images of folders that passed inspection will be removed from the computer, though the folder itself will remain. The folders which had issues and need to be reworked or resent will also be identified on the DCam folders page. The external hard drive may also contain software or antivirus updates. All the data and updates will be detected by DCam automatically, though DCam has to be running. To implement all updates and messages, you must click Process Data from Headquarters on the home page. When you do this, a progress bar might show up. Afterwards, the Confirm Messages window should pop up. It will list the folders that will have changes made to them. To implement the changes, click Confirm. Another progress bar will show up as the changes are implemented. When the changes are made, you will see a window confirming the changes made. Click OK to close the window. You will now notice that Process Data from Headquarters isn't clickable. Once the changes have been made, you can go to the Folders screen to see the changes. This is what the folders looked like before the changes were made. As you can see, 2 folders were marked as completed, and there are now 2 folders needing reworked, and 1 that needs to be resent. Instructions about doing rework or a resend will be covered in another video. When you send an external hard drive back to headquarters, it will contain images, folders and folder data, calibration information, and the DOR. The DOR, or Digital Operator Report, gives information about what you, the user, did in number of records captured, what projects you worked on, and so on. If there is more than one user, it will show information in regard to each user, only if the user was changed in settings each time a different user worked with DCam. Note that some users will actually be a pair of users under one username and number. There will be no need for them to change the username and number when switching which person is capturing. Now we will talk a little bit about loading folders onto an external hard drive. Finished folders should be added to the external hard drive daily. It can take some time to do the actual transfer of data and images, so it is good to do the transfer when you don't need to be capturing images. A good time to transfer images might be during your lunch or another stretch of downtime. That way you aren't sitting around waiting for the transfer to complete. When you are ready to transfer a completed folder or folders to the external hard drive, go to the Manage Projects, Listings, and Folders page. All completed folders should already be closed. If not, ensure to close them. A folder cannot be shipped if it isn't closed. To close a folder, it must first be evaluated. The evaluation process should have already taken place. If it hasn't, you should be able to check the Open or Evaluated checkboxes found at the bottom of the folders area. This way you can see if there are folders you missed when completing the evaluation process. If a folder has been completely evaluated, it should show up in brown under the status column with the label Evaluated. You can click on the folder and then click Close on the left side of the screen. When you click Close, the status of the folder should change to yellow, meaning it is ready to be transferred to the external hard drive. When there is a closed folder ready to be transferred to the external hard drive, a yellow highlighted text, Transfer Needed, should appear in the external hard drive section of the footer bar. Now you are ready to transfer folders. The day you are to send the external hard drive back to headquarters, you may want to transfer folders immediately upon completing them to ensure they get shipped. You can do this immediately after evaluating a folder. When an evaluation is complete, a pop-up window appears. Select the option labeled "Close this folder" and return to Transfer to External HD screen. This will take you directly to the transfer screen where you can begin the transfer of folders you just completed. There are several other ways to get to the transfer page. You can click on the Transfer tab on the right side of the menu bar by clicking on the External Hard Drive tab in the footer bar. You can also access it from the home page by clicking on Transfer Folders to External HD. This should appear clickable if there are folders ready to be transferred to the external hard drive. You can also use the Ctrl-T keyboard shortcut. When you arrive to the transfer page, you will see the folders that are ready to be transferred to the external hard drive. Look over the folders to make sure all the folders that need to be transferred are there. If not, a folder might not be closed yet. Once you are satisfied that all the folders are present which are ready to be transferred, click the Transfer to External HD button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. When you click Transfer to External HD, the estimated project completion window may appear. This is where you will give an update on the expected end date of the project you have been working on. It is important to give as accurate an estimate as possible to ensure you don't run out of work to do and so the camera setups can be utilized more efficiently. The current estimated completion time shows in the box labeled Week Ending. If this estimate is wrong, you can change it. If you select the drop-down box, you can select less than 3 months, less than 1 year, or 1 year or more. Less than 3 months will set the increments by weeks. You will only be able to select 1 to 12 weeks. If it is more than that, select less than 1 year. Less than 1 year will set the increments by months, with the options of 3 to 11 months. More than that will fall under 1 year or more. 1 year or more will set the increments by years. If you go above or below the number of weeks, months, or years mentioned, it will automatically change to the next unit of time. When you have set the estimated project completion, click Update to continue. If the project is new, you will be brought to the Confirm New Project window. There you will give the media number. A media number refers to the number of external hard drives that have been sent. The default for a new media number is 1 and should not be changed unless instructed to do so by your field supervisor. If you aren't starting a new project, DCam should automatically put in the new media number. If everything is correct, click the Continue Transfer button. Once the transfer begins, you will see a progress bar in the external hard drive portion of the footer bar as well as on the transfer screen. You can start a new folder and capture images at this point, but the computer may lag a little till the transfer is complete. For this reason, it is advantageous to transfer folders to the external hard drive when you will not be needing to use the computer. Do not turn off the computer or disconnect the external hard drive till all transfers are completed. Once the transfer is complete, it will show green in the footer bar and will say On HD. Now that we have completed all transfers, let's learn about disconnecting the external hard drive and shipping it. Once all the images and folders are on the external hard drive at the end of each week, you will ship the external hard drive back to headquarters. The first step is to ensure the external hard drive is no longer being used by the computer and to disconnect it. To do this, first ensure no folders or images are being transferred to the external hard drive. The external hard drive tab in the footer bar should be green and say On HD. Next, correctly disconnect the external hard drive. You will do this by clicking the caret in the computer's taskbar, clicking the external hard drive icon, and then finding the external hard drive you are using and clicking Eject. You then wait till the drive no longer appears. At this point, you will turn off the external hard drive, remove the eSATA cable from the external hard drive, and unplug the power cord from the external hard drive. Make sure to not send the cables with the external hard drive because the same cables will be used with the next external hard drive. Once the external hard drive is properly disconnected, you will place it back in the Pelican case in the cutout area of the foam. The case is meant for only one external hard drive. Do not remove or alter the foam to try and get more than one external hard drive in a case. Doing so could damage the external hard drives, resulting in you having to resend the folders later. Once the external hard drive is properly placed, close the case and secure the clasps. Next, you will place the Pelican case back in one of the boxes a case originally came in. You will then ship the case back. How this will be done will vary from place to place. The biggest note is if you are outside of the United States. If you are shipping the external hard drive to the United States, you will need to make sure a few things are mentioned when you write the paperwork for customs. The following should be found in the paperwork on the outside of the package. It should say that the package contains an external hard drive. You may also say that it contains genealogical information or business data. You need to say external hard drive to help inform the customs agent that the external hard drive doesn't emit any radio waves or frequencies. Also list that the external hard drive is used equipment. Finally, state that there are no wireless devices. In some places, a pickup for the package can be arranged at the archive where you're capturing images. In other places, the box will be taken to a shipping location personally by you. Ask your field supervisor for specifics unique to where you are working. That finishes up this video. Please take a look at the other DCam training videos. See you then!